right. Welcome to Money Talk. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Today, I'm super excited to be your educator and host. My name is Keon Corniff. Some of you know me as Mr. Finance. And, it's incredible for us to continue to learn and understand more about how to win the money game. So with today's lesson today, this week, we're going to just give you a run through of what this week is about. And this week, our theme and our focus for this week is understanding financial concepts. So this week, we're going to talk about the rule of 72. We're going to talk about the X curve, the dime method, the 10-20 and 50-20 formula. And Friday, we have quite a special surprise of different overviews that we share to give more insights. So today, understanding the rule of 72 is to understand a word called compound interest. And the importance of understanding compound interest and the rule of 72 plays a very vital role in all of us to really learn how to truly develop wealth. See, wealth development is very easy, guys. And we just got to understand and learn how to do so. And more importantly, why, right? Why we got to build wealth and how to build wealth. And what does, the rule of 72 do in regards to building this wealth and how to properly make sure that we're in a position to continue winning that. So, let's break down that for a little bit today, right? Because it's important that we do. And it's important that we start learning how money works. Because understanding how money works, guys, if we don't start learning how money works, how are we going to win the money game, right? How are we going to truly win the money game if we never understand how money works? So here's the thing. To understand the rule of 72, it starts with a word called rate of return. Many of us know the word rate of return, but many of us probably know the word interest. Now, those are the same words. Okay, those are the very same words. Interest, rate of return, it's the same thing. Okay, so if you hear people say, hey, I get good interest or I get good rate of return, they're saying the same thing. That's one thing you got to understand. But the other thing you got to understand is something called the magic of compound interest, right? What is the magic of compound interest? What is compound interest? And why is compound interest so important to truly understand? Because when it comes to compound interest, guys, they say that compound interest is one of the, one of the most, one of the best and one of the most important things to learn when it comes to money. You see, one of the most important discovery in finance was when, Albert Einstein discovered something called the rule of 72. Right? That was one of the best discoveries because when he discovered the rule of 72, which pretty much shows it's a way how to show how to calculate the effect of compound interest with a very simple formula. And all the formula was saying is that, Albert Einstein said, if you take 72 and you divide it by whatever interest you're getting on your money, right? That will equal the amount of years it takes for that money to double for you or against you. So once again, if you take 72, 72 is always that we always call it the hard number, right? The number that sits right there. So it's always 72. And whatever interest are you receiving on your money, that would determine how many years it would take for your money to double for you or against you, right? And that's the reason why we teach families about compound interest and how to really and truly win the money game with learning about compound interest. Now, let me give you some examples about how interest work, right? So imagine that you take, let's say, 72, right? And you was able to get, say, 4% interest on your money. And you had $10,000 at the age of 29 and you wanted to invest it, right? You wanted to invest this money, you're getting 4% interest on that money. Sound like you're getting a good deal, right? Until you apply the rule of 72 and how compound interest truly works. So now you take 72, you divide it by 4, it equals 18. So now that 18 represents the amount of years it takes for your money to double. So that means you take 18 years for your money to double for you, right? Or if you borrowed somebody's money, that money will double against you every 18 years, right? So imagine that $10,000 at 29, and now at 65, you want to get back your investment. At 65, that 10,000 would only grew to $40,000. Right, which would not be enough for you to even try to retire on or even for you to try to build something with, right? So that's where we really got to truly understand how compound interest really works. Here's another way to look at it. Let's say that you were able to get, say, I don't know, 8%. 72 divided by 8 equals 9. Money double every 9 years. So from 29, that 10,000 would have grew to $160,000, right? So you probably look at that and say, man, that's still, kind of better. It's better than the 4%, right? But what if you were able to get 12%? 72 divided by 12 equals 6. Money will double every 6 years. So from 29, that 10,000 would have grew to $640,000 at 65. So that's why we got to truly see. You see, when you see the difference, right, between your $10,000 getting a 4% versus a 12%, you realize that's a $600,000 difference in this example, right? And that $600,000 is equal to a 20-year salary of someone who earns $30,000 annually. So what we have to realize is that, man, interest, compound interest plays a very vital role for one's money, especially if it's been used for you. But more importantly, you don't want compound interest getting used against you, right? So, one of the things that they said that, the rule of 72, not only does it unveils how compound interest works, but it also unveils, the impact that compound interest have on our money. But it also unveils two kind of people, right? It unveils two kind of people. And the two kind of people, you got to realize and say, which one am I? Which one am I? Which one am me? Who am I when it comes down to these two kind of people? Are you the people who understand how money works and you make money work for you? Do you understand how money works and you learn how to make money work for you? Are you the type of people that don't understand how money works and you just end up keep working for money, right? You see, wealthy people, one of the things that they focus on is this. Wealthy people tend to, spend more time learning and understanding how money works. They look for advice and solutions to get better rate of return for their money. A matter of fact, a lot of poor people lack knowledge about financial, of their personal finances. Now, when we hear the word poor, people think, oh, it's about money. Absolutely not. When you hear the word poor, it's not just about money. Poor is not just about money. Poor actually stands for people, passing over opportunities repeatedly. That's what poor is. So you hear most wealthy people that use the word poor, they're not talking about money. They're talking about an acronym that stands for people that pass over opportunities repeatedly. So if you pass over opportunities repeatedly, then that will keep you broke, or it will not give you the opportunity to learn more, right? So, one of the things that they talk about is the fact that some don't care to understand, right? There's a lot of people that don't want to know about finance. They say that they're good. They say that they have a financial advisor. But do you truly have a financial advisor? Are you truly good? Let's be for real, right? See, you look at it, many of these people don't have no plan and little savings. And what savings they have, they usually put into an account with a low rate of return. So the money that they put away don't even work for them, right? 85% of the population put their money where they're getting taxed now, or they don't even get enough interest. Where do you put your money? What kind of interest are you getting? Are you getting compound or are you getting simple, which we're going to talk about shortly? But the other thing that you got to look at the fact that if you owe money, right? Let's talk about this, because what you don't understand is that their money don't work for them. But the thing is, do you understand that compound interest works both ways? It could make you and it could break you. So if you owe money, though, guess what? The compound interest on your debt can ruin you. That's why many of us spend so many of our years paying down debt, right? We're paying down so much debt because you don't realize that compound interest is being worked against you. So as a result, many people keep paying bills with high interest despite numerous payments that you're making. This balance of the bill barely goes down, but because you haven't learned how to pay down your debt properly yet, right? Because high interest on the balance continues to compound. Sometimes it feels as if that it's impossible to pay off the balance because you are paying down your debt with sometimes the minimum amount. See, you got to realize that paying down debt requires a strategy, but you got to realize what are the compound interest that's used against you, right? And how many years will it take for that money to double against you? You have to know these things. And that's why it's important to use the rule of 72. But you also got to learn what is the difference between simple interest and compound interest. Do you know the difference? What kind of interest are you getting on your money? Are you getting compound or are you getting simple, right? Because most people didn't even know there was two different kinds, right? Many of you guys hear that you say, oh, I got interest on my money. I'm getting 2% interest. Cool. Now, what kind of interest are you getting? Are you getting simple interest or are you getting compound interest? There's a difference, right? And you got to know the difference. So one of the things that we're going to talk about, let's break down the difference between simple interest and compound interest. How does it work? Take good notes on this part because it's important for you to know this. I'm going to use an example that you invested $10,000, right? And let's say that you were able to get 8% compound interest every year, right? And we're going to use an example that you get 8% simple interest every year. We're going to show you the difference between the two, how this $10,000 would have grew over the period of time, right? So now let's look at the first year. Let's talk about the simple interest first. Now, let's say that you were able to get simple interest of $10,000, right? You have $10,000 to invest and you're getting simple interest of 8%. Year one, 8% on that 10,000 is $800. So now year one, you made $800. So now you got 10,800 bucks from year one. Year two, you go back again, you invest your $10,000. You got 8% on the 10,000 again. Now you make another $800. Now you got 11,600. Year three, you got $10,000 again, and you got another 8%, right? And that's another $800. Now you got 12,400 bucks. Let's say that you did this for the next 10 years. Over a 10-year period, you grew to have $18,000, right? So you made an extra $8,000 on your investment over a 10-year period. So that's how simple interest work, right? So with simple interest, every year, if you got 8% interest on your money, that money would have earned 8% only on the principal, okay? Only on the principal. So now, over a 10-year period, you would now have $18,000, which means that you make $8,000 on your $10,000. All right. So now, how does compound interest work? This is where things get very important, and it gets really, really exciting because once you see how compound interest work, you will realize that you need to start probably looking in that direction a little bit better. Now, here's how compound interest work. Year one, right? You earn 8% interest on your 10,000. You make 800 bucks. So now you're going to add that $800 plus the 10,000. You got 10,800, right? From year one. So now here what happened in year two. Year two, you're going to take what you make in year one, the 10,800, and now you get 8% compound interest on that money. So now you got 8% interest on that 10,800. You now make $864,000 compared to the simple interest where you only make 800 bucks. So now you make $800, $864. Now you're going to take that 864 plus the 10,800, and now you have $11,664. Now you're going to add that to year three, and now you're getting 8% interest on that again. 8% interest on $11,664 now equal $933, right? Now you're going to take that 933 plus the 11,664, which is $12,597, and you're going to go on and add it on for the fourth year. But let's say that you did this over a 10-year period, right? Over a 10-year period, that money would have grew to $21,589, right? So now you make $11,589 compared to just $8,000. So with compound interest, guys, with compound interest, the saving vehicle that that person that earned, so let's say that compound interest was Mr. B, right? Mr. B earned a compound interest and it give him 8% on the combine of the principal. The principal means the 10,000 that he put in plus the interest that he would have made on each year. So for the year's calculation. So when you see the difference between simple and compound interest, then you will now understand the powerful impact it can have on your money. So now think about what kind of interest are you getting against your debts? Now that's something to think about. That is something that you really got to think about. What kind of interest are you getting against your debts? Is it compound or is it simple? What is the interest that you're getting on your credit card debts? What are the interests on your mortgage? What are the interests on your car note? What is the interest on your student loans? Any personal loans that you take? What are the interests? Is it compounded or is it simple interest? And how many times is being compounded for the year? Is it a monthly, semi-monthly, annually, quarterly? You got to know. because that's where you really see the power of how people are making money off you. And then you got to go to your bank. You got to go to your investor. You got to go to your 401ks. And you got to ask them, hey, what kind of interest am I receiving on my investment that I'm trying to build wealth with? Is it a simple? Is it a compound? You got to know, right? Because if you don't know these things, how are you going to truly build wealth? How are you going to truly save? And it's important. Now, another thing, even if you are getting interest on your money, right? Even if you're getting interest on your money, what is the real rate of return? What is the real rate of return? What is the real interest that you're receiving on your money? Do you know what is the real rate of return? You see, when you save and invest, it's important to have a good rate of return. But what is the real rate of return? In other words, what do you really get? What is it that you're really getting, even though you're getting 3%, 4%, 10%, 20% for all I care? What is it that you're really getting? Do you know the formula? Do you know the calculation? Do you know how to calculate that, right? And that's something that many families never learn. Many people never learn how to calculate the interest. They never learn how to calculate what is the real return that they get in. So let me give you an example. And I would highly advise you to write this down, because this is how you're going to learn how to calculate it. Let's say that you were able to save $100, right? You was able to save $100. And let's say that you're able to get 3% interest on that $100. 3% on that $100 is what? $3, right? So now you make $3. In America, you get paid, you got to pay taxes on the gains. Remember, you don't pay taxes on your principals, you pay taxes on gains. It's called capital gains tax, right? So you got to pay taxes on the gains. What is the gains? $3. So let's say that taxes is at 25%, right? Let's say that you're in a tax bracket at 25%. Now you're going to pay 25% of the $3 that you gain, and now that's 75 cents gone. So now let's say that after taxes, you're left over with $102.25. Okay, you're left with $102.25. So now what you didn't calculate is, and most people don't calculate this, and this is why we lose money, is because we never calculate something called inflation. Many of us never calculate inflation, never, right? So let's say that inflation was at let's say inflation was at 3.5%. So that means you take away $3.50. So now $3.50 minus out of the 102.25, your actual return is $98.75. Even after taxes and inflation, you're still losing the money game. You see, guys, if you don't learn how to use this calculator and learn how to use this formula, you will always constantly lose the money game, because the cost of living goes up every year. The cost of living is going up. Everything is going up. Your money is losing purchasing power. Our dollar is losing purchasing power. But let me give you another example, right? Just to give you perspectives. Let's say that you save the same $100. In this time, you're only getting 5% interest on this money. Now you made $5. Every time you make $5, remember, capital gains tax, now you got to pay taxes. So let's say that taxes at 25%. This is a combination of the federal and state now, right? Which we know it's higher, but let's say it was, 25%. Now you take away 25% of $5 is $1.25. So after taxes, you left with $103.75. But let's say that inflation, once again, something we don't calculate, inflation. Inflation is at 3.5%. So now you calculate $3.50 minus 103.75. Your actual return is $100.25. So what you got to realize is that you just made 25 cents on your $100, even at a 5% interest earning. So for every $100 that you make, you're really making only 25 cents on your dollar. So what you're trying to learn, what I'm trying to tell you is that, guys, you must always, look for investments that give you a higher interest that can keep up with inflation and taxes at the same time. You see, understanding money and learning these concepts is very, very important, guys. It is so important for us to learn these things, because if we don't learn these things, if we don't understand these things, how are we going to win the money game? How are we going to win? That's why you got to keep coming. So one of the things I want to remind you that, not only can you win the money game, but here's the thing. Learning about finance and understanding money talk is very easy, right? And that's why we invite you to always come to Money Talk, because we're here to encourage you. We're here to empower you. We're here to inform you. We're here to educate you. But more importantly, you want more information? I encourage you to come here, right? I encourage you to come to this session. This session will break down finance even more. You got to ask yourself, are you open to learning more? Are you truly open to learning more? Then I invite you to come to our 4 steps to financial freedom. I invite you to come to our 4 steps to financial freedom. Every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday, every Sunday, we teach families about how money works. And we do that at 10 a.m., 12 p.m., 6 p.m. Eastern time. Let us know what time works best for you. The person I invite you to Money Talk, get in touch with them and say, hey, how do I get access to this? You can come on the same Zoom that you're using right now. It's the same Zoom you can use to come on and listen and learn. The classes are free. Because if you go through this class and you start learning more and you want more information, guess what? We're going to give you access to many more things. Here's what you get access to. You get access to our workshops. Every Monday and Friday, we provide free financial workshops. So that way you can come and learn more. Guys, the information is here. But the question is, are you open to learning more? That's what it all starts with. So today at 10, today Monday, right? We have 3 classes today. 10 a.m., right? And we also have a class at 12 p.m. Eastern time. And we also have a class at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Come and learn. It's important that you learn. Nobody else is going to teach you this for free. And nobody else is willing to give you better understanding like we do. So it's up to you, right? The choices always come back to you, because just so you know, our campaign is focused on one thing. Our goal and our mission is to educate 30 million families by the year 2030. That's our goal. And we want you to be a part of that. So I want to thank you guys. And remember, you're one decision away, right? You're one decision away right now from changing your future for the better. So always remember, the choice is yours. Come and learn. Come and understand more. Keep coming. Keep learning, right? Finance takes repetition. It's a repetitive thing that you have to continue learning and hearing, because it's not about the solutions. It's about the concepts. Once you understand the concepts, you will know what solutions that you and your family need to put in place. But until you understand the concepts, you will always be confused by the solutions. That's how they kept you from learning, by filling you up with all these concepts. Concepts is not the way, right? Concepts is the way. My apologies. Concepts is the way. Solutions is not the way, right? Solutions change. Concepts remain the same. All right. So thank you for tuning in. And I look forward to, remember to go to our YouTube, like and subscribe, right? Check us out on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, right? And just search Money Talk with Mr. Finance, right? And put that in there. You'll be able to get access. So at this moment, if you have any questions, any comments, you could either post them in the chat or you could raise the hand, and we'll most likely we'll love to hear from you. If you have anything, you can just post in the chat room, and we could also answer it from there as well.